people, and my journey really evolved. And so I kept seeing these messages, like in visual forms and feelings, and just how out of balance we all were.
Mm-hmm.
And so I took some time to reflect on that, of like, how was I showing up? Was I happy? Was I showing up in alignment for with who I wanted to be and how I was feeling? And was I treating myself with love and kindness and compassion? Was I giving myself that which I was giving to others? And
Mm-hmm.
so when the lockdown hit, I was blessed with being really alone, although I didn't always see it that way. I I wanted a partner. I wish I had more friends and things of that nature. But by being alone, I was granted access to go and meet some of the inner demons and shadows and skeletons that truly needed to be seen.
Mm-hmm. Wow. Wow. You know what? It's I'm glad. I'm glad that you are talking about this because um, it is needed. Number one, it's needed, and I think that a lot of us need to uh, go to that other place. Everybody always say take a step forward. Sometimes you have to go back to get the healing that you need. And during this time of the COVID, I believe that a lot of people needed to take a step back to figure out how to love themselves, how to heal themselves from things that they are going through. And I can say that I did that.
I know you're
Very
cutting out on my
in
end.
healing. Okay, okay. Can you hear me?
I can hear you now. Yeah.
Okay. A
There.
very because I went through a very dark place. Like you said, sometimes you go back to the dark place and you start dealing with things, and then you come out of it. And when you come out of it, it's like a breath of fresh air. Should I say that? Breath of fresh air. Stress, a whole lot of stress off your back. And for you to talk about that, because a lot of times, people don't talk about that. They like to keep it to themselves. Like definitely keep stuff to themselves.
Yeah, that's what I was seeing a lot as I was working on people. It was people would come in and their neck hurt or their back hurt or you name it. There's pain,
Mm-hmm.
and I was well aware from all the different modalities that I went to school for that were so much more than skin and bones. We are libraries of all of the wisdom that we've gained through all of our life's experiences, where we store emotions and thoughts and beliefs, and and it's when we don't really allow ourselves to explore those and look at those and really feel those so that we can integrate them and see them for what they are, as they we're all there to help us learn something about
Mm-hmm.
ourselves, about our relationships. But those icky ones, those ones that don't feel good, we don't really want to we don't want to feel that, right? It's like, I mean,
Right,
it makes
right,
sense. Why would we want to feel bad? But at the same time, there's no shame in that.
right.
We're all learning and growing, and as we go through life, there's going to be ups and downs and everything in between. And I think it's important for us to just allow and to know how courageous it is, and of a feat to go there, to allow ourselves to feel these things and to look at these things, and then to come out and say, you know what, I came out all right, and it's going to be okay because I can always choose something different.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah. Right now, we're talking to Dr. Melissa. And she's here talking to us about healing and getting to uh, heal yourself and be happy and be happy. So let's talk about the stress because I know a lot of times right now we are under a whole lot of stress. And sometimes people do not know how to deal with their stress. Can you give us some tips to how to deal with stress? It could be job, it could be kids, it could be soulmate, it could be anything, the world, things that
Yeah,
we're going through. So, can you give our family, listeners, people who's watching, people who's going to be seeing the replays, uh, some tips to how to deal with stress in everyday life?
sure. Well, I can say what worked for me because there's so many
Hmm.
things that exist, and it's I like to say it's going back to basics.
Okay.
You know, we always want this quick fix and someone to just take it all away, and for us to, watch a video and it's like, oh, I'm great now.
Right.
But you know, it's not the world we live in. So
Yeah.
we so what worked for me was really unplugging. And
Okay.
I think that, you know, the lockdown was essentially uh, given to us to be able to do that. But I know that there are so many different circumstances. But essentially, if we could start by just coming back to our own hearts, and it's like, what brings us joy,
Mm-hmm.
lights us up, like going back to that childlike essence within us of what what did we want to do when we were little, right? Or like, what are those little things that would put a smile on our face?
Yes.
When was the last time we drank a lot of water? When was the last time we went and touched a tree?
Right.
Like, I mean, not to sound too granola or like
Right.
out there, but honestly, like, when was the last time that you felt your feet on the grass?
Mm, mm. I like that. I like
So it
that.
could be simple stuff,
I like that.
and just making some time, like as much as we schedule in time to take care of our to-do list.
Hmm.
I think it's important that we make sure that ourselves are at the top, because we can only give as much as we have inside. And if we're pouring from an empty cup, then we're not we're not as much as we could be if we just took some time to recharge.
Yes. Self care.
Yeah.
Self care. Self care. And that's one of the things that I love so much that you talk about. You talk about the self care to find with you enter, and you actually made me smile even though you didn't see me, but you made me smile. You was like, when last time you drank a lot of water, right? When last time you touched a tree, like like seriously, when the last time we actually did things that made us happy, right? The simple things, like you said, and 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 I don't think we do that. I don't think the world that we are in right now with the scheduling and stuff like that, like we really don't do that. And I think that we need to start doing that, because that's one of the things that brings you good health. A lot of people don't know that's what brings us good health when we do things like that. Self care, self care.
And that can look like anything, like, because I also understand that feeling of, I don't even know what brings me joy anymore. How do I even get to that point? How do I feel happy when I feel like the world has just been pulled out from under my feet, how everything's changed? So it's being gentle with ourselves too, and being compassionate. Like, we are going through changes.
Yep.
This whole world is changing, and it's chaos. So if we're feeling upset or sad or tired or angry, allow ourselves to feel that.
Mm, mm.
And if we
That
can find something too to like get a creative outlook or an outlet to expel some of that energy, I found that that helps me. So it's like put on a favorite song and literally look like a lunatic dancing around your house. I don't care. Like scream at the top of your lungs in my car. Oh my gosh, I can't even tell you how many times went for a ride and I was just screaming and people would look over like, is she okay?
right, right.
Like, no, I'm not. I'm having a moment. But it's all good.
But you know what? You said something right there. You said something right there about that moment, right? That moment. And when you said that people just look at you like, you know what I mean? Are you crazy? Something like that. Sometimes we are afraid to do that moment. We're afraid of that. We're afraid to just yell, because I know for me, and I'm just speaking for me, that sometimes I am afraid to have a cry in a car because I feel like everyone is watching, right? And we got to take that moment. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. I won't say it for me. Thank you for me because I don't think we never take that moment just to yell, just to cry, just be like shit. I'm sorry. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because there's that shame, right?
Yeah.
There's that fear of judgment.
Yes.
There's that deep-seated belief of like that I'm not supposed to cry.
Yeah.
It's not safe to speak,
Yeah.
right? And
Hmm.
so it's really deconditioning ourselves in so many ways that we've been brought up. And at the end of the day, knowing that it's not our fault.
Mm.
It's not our fault. And we're all going through it.
Yeah. 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 We are going through it. We are going through it. Especially especially with the things that's going on in this world. Um, Stuff that we're seeing from forest fires to flooding to kids going back to school, our parents feeling safe, people still not working because they're still afraid, all these things. And what's going to happen? That's what I want to know. What is going to be the end result? That right there is what, because with everything that's going on in this world, are we going to be able to, like you said, have self love, just find our inner peace?
Right. That's the most important thing. We have to we have to find that peace within
Need that.
because the outer world is just a reflection of the inner world, right?
Hmm.
We want to look at the macrocosm to the microcosm, you know, as within, so without, as above, so below, those things. It's if we can find that sense of security and peace and love within our own hearts and allowing our mind to rest in that place, then the world may be in chaos, but your perception is different.
Yes.
Our world is a reflection of our perception.
Yep. Yep.
And we have to find that strength within because at least for me, I a long time ago I ditched my TV and I I don't read the news. I don't watch the news. I don't read. I just I am completely in my own bubble of existence, honestly. But I choose to do that because I know if I go into that space, then my energy just gets sucked there of the worry and the anxiety that the collective is feeling. Because I'm also an empath, so I feel a lot. So I have to be very careful with where I put myself
Mm-hmm.
and what surrounds me. So I think that was a big one for me too. That helped was just unplugging. Just,
Mm.
like I always say, like just do you, boo. Like you just do you. Like if you can't do anything. Now, here's the other thing: is that people have different gifts and purposes, and so if you feel called to go out there and just be like, we need to fight against this, and we need to stand up, and we need to, people are drawn to certain things, and thank God for that because we need it all.
Yeah.
Everyone needs someone. And for me, at least, it's like, I know that I will be at my most empowered self by doing my inner work, by sharing my writing, by sharing these little musings that I have on social
Mm-hmm.
media, by showing up for interviews like this, by putting
Mm-hmm.
my book out there. And I also know that by doing the work within, if we're going to go back to that whole adage, by doing the work within, we're also affecting the world on the outside.
Yeah. 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 When someone asks, "Are you a GP medical doctor?"
No, no,
No.
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 I am a doctor of chiropractic, but like I said, that was a past life. I stopped practicing because I just wanted to show up in a different way. I
Right.
wanted to be free,
Yeah.
and yeah. But I'm grateful for all that it provided because it got me to here. So yeah.
I love it. I love it. I love it. So let's talk about your books. Let's
Okay.
get, let's dive into your book. So you have one book right now, The Truth of Who You Are Live Within You. Now, we didn't already been talking about this already a little bit.
Yeah.
So let's dive into the book. Let's dive into the book. So let's talk a little bit about it. So you talk about the self-help, the self-empowerment. You talk about the healing. Um, let's go there with healing, right? Because people have been through tragedies. People are going through things, from relationships to uh, people, just the world. We're just gonna say the world. Tragedies, the world, things going on. Um, in the book, you know, uh, you talk a little bit about that. So can you dive a little bit deeper into that
Sure.
for us?
So yeah. So the book is The House, The Truth of Who You Are Lives Within You. And when I was in my office, I started seeing people's bodies as a house. And inside of the house, I would see three archetypes, meaning I saw three components of a person's soul: the inner
Hmm.
child, the mother, and the father, or the inner child and yin and yang.
Hmm.
And I, let's see how I can describe this. The book itself was, I was journaling one day, and because I wanted to teach people about this balance, about finding this harmony within yourself. And so, because it really speaks to the inner child that lives in all of us, the inner child that was left to feel that they needed to hide, that they weren't good enough, that it wasn't safe to be seen, or it wasn't safe to share their gifts, or it wasn't safe to speak their truth. And so the book would speak to the inner child. And the first part of it was completely channeled. Well, the whole book was channeled, I'll say.
Hmm.
Um, and it came, so I was just writing one day, I was journaling of how am I going to do like a group circle to share what I know in a different way rather than just have my hands on people.
Hmm.
Well, 25 minutes later, this whole story came out, and it was based on my life of like how I grew up and what I learned and what I was seeing. And the second half was channeled from the divine mother and the sacred masculine and Mother Earth. And
Hmm.
so this book speaks to the place within us that feels those things, that feels that fear, that feels that unworthiness, that feels that rejection, the abandonment, the betrayal, the anger, and it speaks to all of these emotions. And it leads the reader through a journey back to their own heart.
Mm. Mm. I feel like right now I'm in the counseling session. Because I want to tell you why. I want to tell you why, because you said something that actually hit me. You know, when I went through counseling for my mother's passing, and my my doctor, psychologist, was like, we want to go back to your childhood. And I'm sitting back like, why you want to go back there? Like, what are you going back to childhood for? I mean, we talking about right now. And she was like, no, we got to go back there first because something happened. And I swear, like, I was like, whoa, went there, and I didn't know I had that much tragedy, but 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 she went there, and a lot of pain, a lot of joy, a lot of happiness. And before we even got to after the fourth session, that's when we got to my mom. But we went from, like you said, you went from your childhood to your teenage years to the adult to you know uh, married, then not married, then uh, uh, kids and everything. And I'm sitting back and I'm like, wow. I mean, blew up. And I didn't know. I didn't know. And that's what I just said. Like, like you just brought me back to a counseling session. Because a lot of people really don't know. That's how I know who goes through counseling and everything else, because they take you back. Because they want you to go back first. And yeah, yeah. Wow. Mm, wow.
Because, that's when we're little kids, we're not aware of what our parents are going through. We're not aware of the adult world and all of the responsibilities that they're bearing and their stories that they're going through and their wound patterns and all of that. Like, we're just little kids and we're in an environment, and it's either this feels good or this doesn't feel good. This
Mhm.
feels safe or this doesn't feel safe. And then we go from there to protect ourselves, right? And so then as we grow up, all of these beliefs and things that we've learned, they get embedded in our subconscious mind. And so we start doing our life, and even though we want to create worlds of like, oh, I learned this lesson, I don't want to recreate that, right?
Right.
So it's like showing up, I'll do anything so I do not have to experience this rodeo one more time.
Right.
I
Right.
have to go to this rodeo once more, right? Um, However, what we don't understand is that all of the feelings and beliefs that didn't feel good, those need to be integrated.
Yeah.
Those need to be forgiven. We need to be able to look at all of it as lessons. And especially as we grow up older, we have more and more experiences so that we can now see things from the other side of the coin. We can now maybe perhaps see ourselves from another person's point of view,
Hmm.
right? Because then we can have some compassion
Yeah.
for like, wow,
Yeah.
been there. Like now I can see. And so if we can just allow ourselves to go there and to forgive others and then forgive ourselves,
Hmm.
we can start moving forward and then create all of those dreams that we set out to create in the first place.
Yes. 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 Oh man. Wow. Yes. Yes. You're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. But man, I'm just. I gotta thank you. I gotta thank you because we're gonna have to do a whole. I'm gonna have to bring you back on the show I'm gonna have to. I am want to bring you back on the show because I would love to do a segment with you if you can every month to just talk about you know self love, healing, different things that we can do. Start out doing. You know what I mean? Just to help, right? Going through things because what you're saying is see, 'cause, like I wish I had a whole lot of time, right? So we're gonna have to block off like at least an hour with you. You know what I mean? Like 15 minutes, 20 minutes is no justice for this right here. This this right here needs more than a 15 to 20-minute segment. This right here needs about an hour segment because we're going to be breaking down. And that's why I said that I'm going to reach back out to your purposes because we're going to have to talk about this for an hour and we just going to have like a whole show and dive into it, because
I'd be honored. I'd be honored.
I don't think that I don't think that I'm giving the listeners and the viewers and people who's going to be watching a replay justice if we don't have a full segment with you, right? Because I don't think it's fair. Right now, I don't think it's fair at all, and I'm just being honest. I'm just it's just me just being honest because it's so much that we need to learn when it comes down to self love, self healing, um, self empowerment, and you are the perfect person to let's dive into it. You know what I mean? Let's dive into it. And
Do it. Yeah, we have to dive in, right?
yes,
Dive
yes, yes, yes. And
in.
and 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 I'm going to tell you, like I feel like it's not fair right now because I know people like, wow, when people see the replay, they're going to want more. So we're going to have to give them uh some more. We really
Okay.
do. We really do. So I'm actually going to reach out to Ruth right after the show. I'm going to reach back out to you too, and for we can give them more and let's book a whole hour segment, and we can collab back and forth on things and topics and stuff like that. So when you do come back on, we are like full fledged. We diving right into it. It's not going to be like, oh, welcome. No, no, no. Like it is time. We are sitting down on the couch. We are having a conversation, and let's get it started.
Yeah, right. Like grab your magic capes. We're gonna go on a journey.
Yes,
We're gonna do all the things. Grab some coffee. I don't care. Like sit down.
yes,
Let's talk.
yes, yes, and that's what we need, and that's what I want. That's what I want. So we want to create this beautiful atmosphere. Okay, so and I want to talk to you after the show, and for we can dive into different things. So when we do this segment of B, let's go. Get your water. If y'all drink wine, get your wine. You know what I mean. If you want to smoke, get smoke. I don't know. I don't care.
Just relax. Do anything
Yes,
you need to
yeah,
do. Sit down
just
and relax.
yeah, and that's all I want. That's all I want. And let's
Get
dive,
some
y'all.
tissues.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So go ahead and tell our listeners and people who's gonna be watching the replay where can they find you at on the social media platform and the books. Where can they get the books from?
Sure. My website is drmelissacrane.com, and my Instagram is at melissa.a.crane. And then I do a lot of talks on Clubhouse as well. So it's at MA Crane DC. But
Okay.
everything's, if you go to my Instagram, that's pretty much my main gig right now. I do live healing transmissions and meditations and guided healing work. So that's
Mm,
where everything's at right now. And then there's links to the book on my link tree through there.
okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. 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 We're gonna get into this. We're gonna get into this right here. We got to get into this because I just feel it. I just feel I'm gonna have to change the whole atmosphere. Right. You know what I mean? I'm gonna listen, I'm gonna dive into this and we're gonna just get into it because we need it. We need it. Regardless of what people say, we need this right here. and self healing, self empowerment. You know what I mean? Just getting your inner self right. The
Yeah.
outside is what people say.
And having a safe space to do
Yeah.
that, just a safe, sacred, held container where you can just be. You can be yourself, all of it. And there's no judgment. You don't have to show up in a certain way. You can just be you and allow yourself to go where you need to go.
Yes. 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 We are doing this. We are going to do this. We are going to do this. The energy, it just the speaking right. It was felt like it was relaxing. It felt like love. It felt like you can, like you said, just be yourself. So we're gonna bring that back. We're bringing that back. We're bringing you back. Let's give it
Yay.
up. We're clapping it up. We are bringing you back. I'm gonna reach out to your publicist. I'm gonna reach out to you too. So I now everybody say DM you. So I would DM you. I'll give you my contact number, and we could talk about the parts of the show because I'm gonna block off a whole hour for you, so we
Oh,
can dive
awesome. I'm
into it.
excited. I'm
Yeah,
excited.
yeah, me too, me too. So we can dive into it and get to certain points. Like we have our talking points, and we get to these certain points. Because I feel like I said, I feel like there's no justice for this right here, right? I think it's needed more. So why not get that more in? So we're gonna do this. We're gonna do this. So I'm gonna reach out to your publicist,
All
reach
right.
out to you, so we can get this started, and then we have our date, and then we just gonna just tell everybody to come on in, be relaxed, enjoy yourself,
And I'll get
have fun.
better lighting next time. I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm blacked out here soon. I'm like, I'm moving my camera around. I'm like, where's the light? Yeah,
Oh man,
you can
yes,
tell I'm a
yes.
professional here, right?
Very, 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 very. Well, thank you again. Thank you again for
Thanks for
joining me.
having me.
Uh, we'll be back with you. So I'm going to say we'll be back with Doctor. If you want me to still call you Doctor, Melissa Crane joining us here.
Just call me
Okay.
Melissa.
Okay. Well, we'll be back with Melissa.
Thank you.
We'll definitely be back with Miss Melissa, and we're gonna dive into some other stuff. So we're gonna have another segment, and we're gonna dive into self healing, uh, your inner spirit. Uh, we're gonna have a meditating session. You wanna have a meditating session?
Yeah,
Go ahead. Yeah.
let's
So
do
we're
it.
gonna have a meditating session. We want to tell y'all the times, and we want to have everything broken down so y'all know in increments of what we're going to do because we're going to have an hour block for this. You know what I mean? So y'all go ahead and get whatever y'all going to be getting, and we're going to be posting it, and we're going to be talking about it. And so, like she said, when your water, be you in this, and we will enjoy everyone to be them when we do this again. So we want to be diving into it. We're going to get into it. So now you're going to have me, you know, I'm about
You
to
got their
start.
sage?
Yes, I do. Yes, I
Oh
do.
yeah.
Yes, I
I
do.
got all my crystals here. See,
See, everyone get your stage, get your crystals, because we're
get your
going to get into
sage,
this.
get your crystals.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. We are going to get involved in this, and this is going to be a good session. This is definitely going to be a good session. But thank you again. Much love to you. I
Much love.
appreciate you.
Thank
I
you for having
definitely
me.
appreciate you. And we'll be back with you. So I'm going to say we'll be back
All
with you,
right.
Melissa.
I
We'll
look
be
forward
back with
to it.
you. Yes, yes, yes. So I'll be DMing you to give you some contact, and I'm gonna reach you back out to your publicist so we
Oh,
can
wonderful.
block you out. So hopefully we can get this. I am praying for it. Yes, yes, we're gonna get it. Thank you so much. But once again, tell our listeners where they can find you at on the IG.
IG is at melissa.a.crane.
Yes, there it is, y'all. Thank you again. I appreciate you. Definitely appreciate you. And we'll be back here live here on OT Show. Make sure y'all go ahead and check Miss Melissa out because we're gonna have her back. We're gonna be talking. We're gonna be breaking it down. We having a whole hour block. When I tell you we're gonna do it, we're gonna do it. I love y'all. I love it. I love it. I love it. Don't burn your studio down. Okay. Oh, believe me, I'm not gonna burn it down. It's gonna be nice and smoky, and we're gonna get it right in here. We're going to have fun. We're going to have meditating sessions. We're going to talk about inner love. We're going to talk about the inner spirits. We're going to talk about everything, the empowerment with Melissa. So we're going to be doing this because it ain't no justice just to have 20 minutes with y'all. So get your teas, get your water, get your wine, whatever makes you relax. I don't even care if you're smoking weed. I don't care. Whatever makes you relax and enjoy yourself, we want to do it here. You know what I mean? And we love everyone to come in and do it. So we love you, Melissa. Thank you so much. We appreciate you so much. And we're going to have her back on so we can talk about it. And we'll be back here live here on the OT show. Make sure y'all check out Dino FM on your app. Check it out. Y'all can listen to music 24/7, 7 days a week. We love y'all, and we will see y'all again here live here on the OT show. And best believe it, we're going to be rocking. Oh, yeah, we are going to be rocking on that day with Melissa. Oh, you best believe it. It's going down. All right, y'all. I love y'all. Y'all be good. And we will see you again.